It is 9:11 a.m. and it is your happy healer lover on this Monday morning. It is August 23rd. This is MoneyMantics, bringing to you Moderna, of course, and all of our other favorite plays, as well as AMC, cryptocurrency, Cardano, Bitcoin, and many other wonderful plays that we'll be talking about this morning. Just to recap on last week, we had a tough week, I would say, at the end of last week. And, for those who were in the call position, anybody who was in the call position for Moderna really got hurt last week. And anybody who specifically was pushing harder to make up for losses being in that call position all got handed their butts last week, and that's unfortunate because we were a part of that group. That means we pretty much lost all of our gains on Moderna. We're still up actually quite a bit, considering that we started that with a $1,500 account. Now, that's not to say we haven't lost money in other areas or gained money in other areas, but this was our trading account for this program and also for our goals, which, I've always had pretty strong goals. And one way or another, we always reach them in some way, but it just takes so long. And the part that bothers me is that a lot of people don't reach their goals, and even for us, it gets put off too long. So we will talk about just tempering expectations in that way. Although there are a lot of progress being made on the crypto market. Cardano, we're in that one pretty heavy, and up by quite a bit in Cardano. Just this week, I think it's about 30%. Let us go ahead and show that right now, see where Cardano is going. Excuse me. Oh, how's it on here? ADA. There it is. Okay, so you can see it's at 283. Now, if you take this back on the 5-day, for Cardano, you could see it's actually been down here in the 214 range and has gone up quite a bit in that time, which is a difference of, doesn't show it here, but there it is. It's about a 44% difference from that time if you're looking at the right hand column. Now, when you back that out to the month, it even becomes more staggering. It's about 135%. And that's just for 1 month on Cardano. Remember, this was the cryptocurrency that I brought to you back around a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago. I was telling you about Cardano. If you had gotten in then, you're already almost double up your money on this thing. So you're doing very good on Cardano. I think that Cardano, I said last week, it seems like something I said this at $2. It seems like something that you could put your money in and have it 5x by the end of this year. It seemed like to me that was possible, looking at the movement on various stocks, and that, for example, on Bitcoin, that probably wouldn't be possible. So looking at this, it can continue going up with the kind of momentum it's been getting. It's at 282.7 right now. Let's go ahead and get off of this and get back on to Moderna for this morning. I know it's been taken off. Let's see if today's Moderna's day. I always say we're a day off just when it doesn't matter anymore. Then it starts rocking. And that's unfortunate. So good morning to everybody. Let's see who's out. We are on our financial channels live, as well as everything to do with your happy healer lover. Those are our local channels. We also have Discord up. So what I'll do is, for anybody who wants to be a part of that, you could actually go to MoneyMantics Discord. That's what it is called, MoneyMantics, and invite your friends, So we'll go ahead and I'll leave this in the chat here so that you have it. Let's see. And dun, it's 9:16 a.m. right now. Alrighty. 'Cause I love you and don't you know it's true? Oh yes you do. You know it's so true. Okay. And so this is your invitation if you want to join that. And now it's just getting started, that Discord, but I guarantee you we'll be sticking with it. So if you want to join to collaborate a little bit better, more freely than YouTube, for example, and it leaves a presence on my desktop. So when you feel a certain way about a stock or a cryptocurrency, I'm specifically looking for that next cryptocurrency that starts small, that we know is going to take off, or at least we feel it's going to take off, and we have really good reason for saying that. I want to know about those opportunities, what you feel about those particular opportunities that might be out there, and what we can share with one another. And so we have Moderna this morning. It's at 382.98. And let's check something here. Go back to the day chart. It's actually at, in the pre-market, 392.05, so that's up some $5 or so. It's up actually about $10, so it's got some progress on there. It's up 907 at the current moment. Lovely. So what we'll do today is get a good feel for things on the market here. I'll let you know what I think is a good play for this morning on the options. Now, so far as myself being in those options, we'll see, maybe. Now that my account has officially been hit pretty hard on these call positions, as many of us have, there's a certain limit that I won't go to, and I think that's very important to show in the world of investing. You see, I'm not going to lose beyond a measure that's comfortable for the work that I do. That at the end of the day, and I think that's each one of us have to make that call, what that means for each one of us. As a happy healer lover, what's most important to me and my goals is even more than Happy Force 1 or any of the goals to do with that are each day continuing to be able to bring the truth and to keep my lifestyle going in that way, where I can even take Happy Force Mini and go about making that progress. So that's always an option. We never want to beat ourselves down beyond a level that's comfortable. And so I have this about 20, I'll show you here in a moment. It's still up on that 1,500 account, just not at 15,000 anymore. I want to say we're up about maybe 900, maybe 1,000, something like that. We're gonna look at it here in a second. Got my Stranana. All right, let's take a look. We are up 935, and so that's what we're up on this ultimately. And well, are we showing? Let me make sure that that's everything here. Yeah. Okay. That's the full enchilada. And so what we ultimately have here, as well as 4 of these call positions on AMC. Now these are out in October 1st. I feel pretty good about them. I haven't thought about selling them today or not. We'll see if AMC runs. I do know one thing. AMC has a chance to take off here if the market takes a tank. Just like if that had happened on Moderna, I think it would have taken off. So, if that had happened on Moderna, we'd all be looking pretty right now, those of us who are in the call column. It's not good enough on options to be right the day after your option expires. It's just not good enough. And that's why we often talk about rolling over your options so you don't have that problem. But this last one, like I said that day, it was a matter of we were either going to be all-stars for having it right, or we were going to pay out of the butt for getting it wrong. And it was one or the other. It's sad to me that we're paying out of the butt for that for some people, but I'm certainly beyond it. I don't stay. Let me ask you this, folks. How many people are worried about your losses from last week that you can't focus on this week? How's it going, Cozy? Good morning. How you doing, Jason? I know you're out there, buddy. We got to keep things rolling, my man. We can't let one whack make us get scared of the market. We just have to do the market better. Okay, so Cozy says it's highly volatile still. Really up to you, Jason. Personally, I'm staying in but changing my strategy. I will be buying and selling a call, so it limits my risks and even more, but have room to grow. That's great, Jason. I'm glad to hear you're feeling good, buddy. That's important, that we're all on top of today with a fresh look and had a weekend to relax. So now if I get into a small, like I know, here's what I'm likely to do is, as I see clearly what might turn out to be, it'll talk to me. I'm gonna stay focused on opportunities this morning, and when I see something that both will work within my current goals. See, I can't just sell. This pattern day trade, I won't waste my breath talking about it too much. We know where we stand on it. But this pattern day trade will get in the way if I sell AMC due to some profits today and expect to reuse any of that money for some other opportunity. That's just not going to work like that. So patience is really going to be the key for growing this account at this point, and that's going to, and I'm going to show that. I'm going to do my best anyway at it. I'm a pretty aggressive person when it comes to finances and just in general. I like to be in aggressive plays, and if not, that it's giving me the advantage in some way, then I don't see the sense of being in it. And I think that's where last week's mistake was for some of us, is we're just getting used to those wins and the advantage really wasn't there. We have 6 minutes. I mean, our only advantage in our mind is argued against other people's minds, and everyone gets a vote in terms of deciding what that price is going to be. And some people are saying that it's worth less than 300. It's ridiculous, when you really have done your homework and you know what Moderna's worth. But some people say that and they get a vote in the matter, and it doesn't matter if you think it's at, if it's supposed to be at 600, it's still not going to just be there because you think that. It has to work its way up. And that's why it's really important to have this conviction in your stock plays. So good morning. So on Friday, did eating keep you guys nice and charged up to deal with that? I know by the time the end of the day came for me, I was so glad that I had eaten throughout the day, because those days are the days that you really forget, and then your body, like by the time you realize what's happened, you're like double whammed, and so that's not pleasant. I don't want to see anybody ever go through that just because they put their neck out there. That's courage. I mean, that's one thing I kind of like gets me drawn into gambling, which that's all that is really to a degree. I mean, I've always said I'll put doing call options and options trading generally just above gambling, just above literally walking into a casino at a blackjack table and gambling. The advantage and the reason why that I put it one step above is because you really do have an advantage. You can handicap your losses by simply doing your research and having the advantage, giving yourself double the time instead of not enough time, things like that. So what we did was we just got in a little bit too hard, I think, on our ultimately is what it'll prove is expiration, but I'm still not going to undermine I want to make sure you realize just how much this thing can cost us today or next week or the week after if we believe with all of our money. That's all it takes to do to fall backwards. We got 3 minutes until market open. And until, I wonder how it's going to take off today. I'm really curious about that Moderna after having been on it all in like that on Friday and Thursday and remaining stubborn with it. Having as long as you could deal with it, right? And I could totally deal with it. So we could rehash it a little bit. But having this out several times and not taking it, I think that was a mistake. But, ultimately speaking, it's not one you can't come back from. It's just one you have to know about. So you don't, and I talked a lot about this stuff going into it. Doesn't mean that it can't happen just because the market happens quick. And, that's why I say ultimately you have to accept your gains, your losses, as it turns out, because you're doing what you want in the moment. The disadvantages that you had walking in, you knew about, you didn't like them, but you chose to go in anyway. It's something you just have to ultimately own up to. It's healthier to do that, by the way. Should you continue to talk about what's not fair? Absolutely you should. But you should also accept and be, very responsible about your losses so that you don't find yourself in a blame game or getting angry at life, and that's not healthy. So we have 1 minute until market open here, folks. I hope it goes just like you need it. How do you need it? Hey, Brian. How's it going, brother? And Jason and Cozy. I come on to my thought I just seen someone outside. I come on to my various profiles besides my MoneyMantics, just so that some of my personal friends and stuff can see what I'm doing, and my family as well. Well, I'm sure they're happy they weren't in Moderna with us last week when we literally lost our pants. It is market open. Let's see how Moderna's going to do. Let's come on over here. And down she goes right off the bat. Sometimes that doesn't hold, so we'll see. And let's see here. 390 is where we're basically at the moment. Anything can happen. Remember, in these opening hours, anything can happen, really. Typically, when I've been successful, and you guys know because you've watched it, what I've done is I've held out on going into the market until the first half hour has played itself out. Now, that's also costed me process. Oh, wait a second. What's AMC doing? Better go take a look at AMC real quick. It's basically dropping a bit here too. That must mean the market's doing superbly well. We're not gonna jump too high for that at the moment. I hope not to see AMC take this huge drop today, like dropping down to $30. That will hurt my account, so I do not want to see that. Yeah, no doubt. Actually, for the day, we're actually $90 up on that account. That's because we started out a little better than we closed. But that doesn't mean much because I want to see gains for today. Moderna is at 389.46. Is Moderna laying off? Let's see what those options are calling for. They should start getting a little bit cheaper. I know volatility has come down a bit on Moderna, and that's going to have an impact on those prices. But to what extent? Well, right now a call to be had is $13.91 at 390. I think that's pretty expensive, really. That expires this week on August 27th. And then let's say if you were to get that, say you bought this call for 14, whatever the case is, it's going up, I guess, now. Doesn't take any time at all with Moderna to move in that morning. Boy, it's already at 92. How much we would love to see that kind of progress some of these days, right, guys? Yeah. Yeah, Jason, don't feel the pressure to recoup all in a moment's notice, because that could definitely leave you feeling more pain than, you got to be a take it or leave it attitude. And the take it attitude for progress. I don't want to see you lose, my friend, either. We all should do well. And so it's at 394 right now. And yeah, got to make up some progress. I agree with that. I'm not in your mind. That's your choice. And I'm not your money advisor. I'm just your happy healer lover, as I always say. So 394.98. I think that's pretty good, for somebody who's just sitting back and having lost so much on that. That kind of sucks. Although, look at AMC. That one's coming back a bit, too. We are up in that. Man, I would like to be up on... this is... How hard is it going to be watching Moderna do everything we expected it to do, but a day late? That's hard. That will be a bit hard, honestly. And that's all it takes in options. And I think the lesson there is... don't be in more of a hurry, meaning buying options that expire the same week, than you are in being... let's face it, you'll be here in a week from now, you'll be here in 2 weeks, you'll be here in a month or 2 months. So make gains as you go. I don't know that it's wise to push all of those gains in 1 week. That certainly didn't work out for me and many of us last week. So the SPY, let's go ahead and take a look at the SPY here. That one is up, actually. If the SPY's down, and that's the other thing. I was thinking about just looking at some longer options in the SPY and seeing how that would do, because as a strategy, that seems to have done well. Although it would be bad timing now that the SPY might have a bad week or month coming up, and then of course that's when AMC would be doing good, and I almost think Moderna would be doing good in that case too. Depends on these short positions. 396.18. Wow, Moderna, where were you last week, man? Okay, so you just picked up September 3rd, 485 calls for 200, already making $50. Wow, Jason, I should have looked at something right at about that time. See, I could deal with September 3rd as an expiration for right now. Those aren't too bad. There you go. That's the way to do it, Jason. It feels good to make money on the one you just lost on, so I give you that all day long. I just with this Moderna, kind of had our kneecaps broke a little bit, so I'm really careful. And so if you went out far enough, you got a pretty good deal on that. Let's see what, yeah, 480 it was. See what it is now. It's probably more than, well, my budget could probably get in. Wow, look at Moderna go. If it gets above 400, it's a good chance it's going to take off. It's doing everything we wanted, just a tad bit late. Yeah, that might be a good call to go with, my man. And it has a healthy number of people on it. The spread isn't too bad, but I think I can get it for a better deal. If it goes something like that. Although I'm going to wait out this opening market hour. If it busts past 400, then I'll jump on it because it might be heading up pretty high at that point. Looks like it might do that. My goodness. Yeah, I'm going to just step back on this for a moment and take a look from out here and see how we're doing on AMC. Ooh, AMC has come down some. Man, it's that opening hour, man. You can really make it or you can really break it on some of these. Not favored on the one I am in. Typical. Okay. At least it's back to where the line is there. Well, it's going down actually. Let's bring it back up. Okay, AMC and Moderna. So, yeah, we'll get a better feel on what she's going to do here, I would say, in the next 20 minutes. So I'm just going to go back to heating my fruit cup. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you now progress that we made in... Oh, you know what's been doing good too? Regeneron. Let's see where that is today. That's when I brought to your attention. Remember, that was at... Well, where was that? 6... I brought it to your attention around 6:15, 6:20. And Regeneron. Let's see where that is. I was almost wishing we got into that one with all those calls. If we did, we'd be doing a lot better, I'll tell you that. Look at that, 660 right now. And that's being down for today, $2. Think about that. Yeah, that would have been a lot better for us last week, friends. Why couldn't we have just gone on another position? And you know, I felt more intense about Regeneron than I did Moderna. It's just that Moderna was where we were. It's where we were invested. Can't be thinking like that. Got to really clear the head and think about what's... by the time I make my next move here, folks, I think it's going to be so obvious that that's what I intended. And I'll be willing to... See, when I've gone through that homework, I'm willing to take a loss on a more aggressive position at that point. But I'm not here to take losses. You see, I'm here to win. So, and I need to win for my goals. My goal is to work in humanity. Alright, and let's take a look at Cardano. This is my Coinbase account. And if you're looking at on the day, we're 10% up. On the week, we're 31% up. And on the month, we're 139% up. And those are the kinds of gains you can expect moving through the rest of this year? Quite possibly, yes. Quite possibly, yes. This can actually 5x moving forward, I think, until the end of this year. That's what I've basically am working on it with. I've got the greater majority of what I have in Coinbase on Cardano. And Ethereum, I have my next greatest amount in. And it's also been coming up for the day. It is up 3.69%. Do you know how many funds in this country are paying that much interest for the year and consider it good? So good. And here, this did this for today. Unbelievable. And for the week, Ethereum is at 3.8% for the week. And for the month, it is up 65% for the month. And for the year, it's up 755%. How can you beat these kinds of numbers? I mean, crypto is really taking off. You cannot deny it. To not be in it is really to leave yourself out of a monstrous progress here. So you got 2,200% up on Cardano for the year. That's just amazing to me. And you want to know something? I think, and I've told this to you guys, I have always been a bit on principle, and I'll get in trouble on principle because I'll stay away from something on principle alone. Everybody else is getting paid tens of thousands, and I'm like, nope. Why? Why don't you want to get paid, Happy Healer? Because they're not good to the people. It cost me to be a lover. And so I didn't initially like Bitcoin because of the damage that they wanted to do to the Federal Reserve. In the way I see the Federal Reserve, that's our only hope for having the great new world of abundance that will invest in that world for us people. Of course, I mean, this devilish world isn't going to do it. No. My hope is that we have a better leadership, a better hope, and that people are tired of the death, and then that when we get there, we have this great ability to invest in the right ideas, the people. And the worst thing that greed hell could do is mismanage and misspend all that ability and then destroy that ability right before it hands over the reins to love and to people who are really out for people. I don't want to see that, although in greed hell and with the perversion that's going on, I could almost see that. And so with Bitcoin, I'm not the biggest fan because that's their stated goal, is to beat out the Federal Reserve. I think they're pulling away from that a little bit. So I do have a little Bitcoin, although I'm probably eventually going to sell it and just buy more Cardano or Ethereum or Doge. I'm in Dogecoin as well. Doge is just one of those things that I'm in on a low amount just to be in it. I got back. I am up on it for one thing. I wouldn't want to be down on it. And it's a love play, right? There's a lot of people that are in it that really believe in it, and I'm with it. I'm in it and with it for them. And to see what does it do. So maybe there's something there. It sure hasn't been moving like Cardano though. It's been making a pickup recently, but it has not been moving like Cardano. Cardano is like a rocket ship right now, and if you want to be on it, there's still plenty of time in my view of being on it. And I'll continue buying into Cardano on its way up to $10. And I might sell at $10 and move it somewhere else or stick it with Cardano or what have you. I just want to see us make money in this market. And, I was almost going to remove when I had that 9,000 in my other account. That pretty much sums up what could have happened there had I moved it here. And I was talking about that. I can, it'd be nice if I put those clips together. I really should. I was talking about that and I didn't do it, but just how quickly, something can change. And then it was my intention to do that because this, to me, instead of buying a stock right now, I feel more comfortable being in the crypto market. And if you've got the ability to sit on options and to play options, I think you could definitely sit on like a volatile asset like Cardano, even though there's big swings, as long as you stick with it. I mean, for those of us who are used to options, I mean, that's a mental ride we can take, because our biggest problem with options is we're always time limited, and we always feel like if only we had more time, we were pretty much right about what we thought. But with holding assets, you don't have to worry about the time. And I think that's remaining still an asset that provides a pretty good return on investment. That Cardano is the one that I'm recommending to my friends and family. that I'm telling my family right now, actually. If you wanted to buy one of these cryptos, that Cardano is the one to go with. Although I'm not a financial advisor, I'm certainly not your financial advisor. Just your happy healer lover, hoping to see all of us do well in these complicated markets that, if I had my way, they'd all be going up because we'd be doing happy healing. And as so much as that we live in this world of greed hell, we need that way. And so let's go ahead and jump back here. Regeneron has come down a bit. It's down 7 on the day. If the market drops out, I think that AMC could do very well from that. I also think that if, there it is, it's coming back up. I also think that the same could be said for Moderna. Maybe. If it goes too far, then I think who knows what could happen at that point. All right, so we're up at $12 on Moderna for the day. That's good. We have been open now for 17, for about 12 minutes. No, 17 minutes. What am I saying? So, looks like she's keeping her gains so far. We're going to wait to see what happens. There's no emerging pattern that's come out of this. And that's basically, whether I'm in it or not, that's what I'm watching out on for you. And quite frankly, whether I'm in it or not, the truth remains. I'm telling you the same stuff, guys. You're not going to find a different version of me just because I don't have a stake in it. I care about you. The other thing is, I'm thinking about pulling away from constantly showing my own stake in things. It's not like I'm meaty McGreedy and I have millions of dollars to impress you with. So maybe it's better I just stay on the information part, make progress, and show you that progress as we go. So we'll see how that goes. All right, looking at BNTX, says Jason, or no, says Techno. So we'll go ahead and do that. BNTX. Let's go ahead and take a good quick look at that. And as we step away, Moderna's at 394.89. That didn't type right. BNTX, right? Yep, BioNTech, and let's see what we have here. Ooh, wow. Wow. This is the one to be in today. And yesterday. And last week. If we were in this last week, it would have been better than being in Moderna. Although, how much further can it go? It's already been at this level, but so is Moderna. It's high, probably almost matching right around Moderna's. Got up to 450 and then it came back down. I think both of these stocks are pretty due now for going up. And this reminds me a lot of Moderna. I know that it's a German company, and they're working with Pfizer, and let's go ahead and make that quiet here. It's working with Pfizer, and that together between the two of them, they are doing pretty good. I think you can make some money on this. It sure does seem that way to me. Let's get back on the day here. 32 up for today. Wow. Are you in that tech? Right. They approved the vaccine this morning. So that's good for them. The vaccine for Pfizer has been approved by the FDA in a more complete way. Wouldn't that be happening pretty much for Moderna any moment too soon, I would imagine? They actually found that Moderna's vaccine has been more efficacious has a higher efficacy than Pfizer. Now, Pfizer is a dividend stock, and it's a really mature company, Pfizer. I don't see it as being a stock that's going to just take off like you would expect these growth stocks to do. So don't expect Pfizer to become from 50 to 100 or 150. That would mean Pfizer, for all the time that it's ever been around, it's going to double in value, and that'd be a lot to ask of such a huge company. But BNTX, on the other hand, can run and is running. And here it goes again. And it might just have enough behind it to keep a nice little run going. What has been the cost of these guys doing any kind of options in BNTX? I bet you a lot. Maybe not as much as Moderna, but we'll see. It's expensive to do business on options with Moderna, boy. All right, let's see. Oh, BNTX. Now, these were the prices Moderna was going at before. And I would expect BNTX to be up higher right now because it's moving. And if you want an option that expires this week and to be in that what could potentially go south quick, oh, man, that's a tough one, right? It's always easy to get in deep when you're up. But when you're, down from the previous week, it's not so easy. Okay. And if you wanted to pick one up on Regeneron, I want to say they were pretty expensive too, but let's face it, I mean, this company's only been going up. And I think there's still a lot of room to go up on Regeneron. It's come down a bit today, in fact. See, but I would want to get something out more. Which means, just to get a 3-week call on Regeneron, you're talking... Well, you can get a 655 call for $0 right there. I'll go with that one. That looks good for me. Oh, man, they lied. Laid back day. I wish it could have been more like this on Friday. Well, look at Moderna. It's over 401. Today's the day, huh? That it really is going to be today. Huh. Son of a gun. Let's see. Let's go look at our lineup on this. Son of a gun, huh? Talk about Moderna. It's like I said, it's not enough to be right. You could be right and lose your butt. Being right's half the battle. Getting those bets in right. I mean, what they are on Moderna, that's what you need. And one mistake could undo all the good in the world, right? One simple mistake. And guess what? It's 5 minutes till. We might see a pattern emerge out of this pretty soon. And yeah, I'm waiting on patterns to emerge before I say I feel for sure that I see this going up and north and beyond. And I wouldn't know for sure in any event. I would just, like anybody else, think. Yep. Like anybody else, I would think. And what I think is that Moderna might be the go. Where was it at its high here just now for a moment ago? Okay. It's not really that far off, though. And Techno, Pfizer probably has better legal department for approval. Is mRNA only. They paired with Pfizer for legal manufacturing. I'm just looking at comments and repeating. Pfizer's probably options on... Oh, okay, yeah, Pfizer probably has a better legal department. I'm just leery of, and this is Techno, of options on mRNA and BNTX because analysts say 150, and we know it can go to 500. It's completely a bet up to shorts. Yeah, it really is. Wall Street bet sentiment too. Yep. Friday is to steal your money on options premiums. I do believe so. Fridays have not been turning out very well. When you have a lot of steam, you can really make a Friday work. But for the option writers, which a lot of times are these market makers, they're really out to manipulate that price most on Friday, because that's when it's like whatever else happened in the middle of the week, you could have maybe made money or lost money, but for them it's all the same almost in many ways. It's where it ends. And they want to see those options expire, in some cases out of the money. Although sometimes they're in the call position. So, their manipulation runs deep, and it's really hard to tell which way they're manipulating it today. They know, and whatever way they're manipulating it, 90% of the time they get their way. Maybe even 95%, we'll say. Could even be like 97. It's ridiculous that they get their way that much. That's what these awful hedge funds are capable of doing. That's not a free market either, is it? That's not nearly free. It takes from our profit, They guarantee themselves wins based on our massive losses. And they take out so much liquidity out of the market when they do that. Think about it. The very nature of their winning means they have to burn so much liquidity out of the market. If they're burning, $100 million of liquidity out of a particular commodity, then out of the market, more or less, right? Then maybe they're making $1 million on that. So they're up $1 million, and everyone else is down $100 million. It's not just for them to be up that $1 million, and then you times that by billions and billions and billions. You see where their money comes from. It's a bad way to make money, isn't it? At the expense of progress. Yeah. And yeah, selling on Wednesday and rolling over is a good way, but let me tell you about something on that, Techno. If you're looking at these prices of these options, right, and these calls, typically speaking, and we can use one for example here. We're getting ready to jump above 400 again on Moderna, but you can come on over here with me if you like. Let's come over here. And all right, so we're looking at Moderna. You can buy a call option at 405 for, let's say, 12.5, right? And that's for this week. How much more do you think it would be if you wanted to extend that for this week and next week, which means you get kind of like 2 weeks? Would it be double? Would it be 24? Well, that's what you might think, but you're actually getting a discount. It'd be 20. So now you're paying $12.50 for $12.60 for this one, minus $20. So you're only paying $8 for your next one. Now, if you wait until Wednesday to do it, and, first you run this one down a bit, then you lose a little bit of that advantage. Now, that remains true each time. If you're always buying those last-minute option calls, that becomes more true each time. Do you see how... All right, so it's been going up now. We're almost at 400 again. You see how here it's $14, right? And then here it's $21.76. Now, how much more is it for this one? Now it's only $5 more, and you get a whole nother week. You see how it becomes? But when you get closer to that week, it's much more extreme. Now, you could also see the volatility dropping, which means if you're buying in high volatility, it might not make sense to go out for months on that because it won't remain that volatile for months. So, how do you deal with that then? I would say, just like you are buying for generally options that expire within the next 45 days. But better that they don't expire in the same week you're in. I mean, that's really the toughest option to win on. That's the toughest call to win on. You don't have enough time to be right. If you have more time to be right, then you can get in on it and take your time, ultimately. Right, Techno? Yeah, me too, man. I want to see AMC run. Everything else, it doesn't even matter. In fact, just doesn't even matter for me. Oh, look, AMC is running. Yeah, let's do it. In fact, what can I... Oh, man, no, I can't touch... Really, I need to pull that money out. I got to do some stuff, so... yeah, I won't be making any purchases today. But we are up on the day. $300 up. 310 up. I'll take it. Let's go. Let's go, baby. And then when we get up to 3,000, we'll cash it all out. And then we can't spend it yet, so we gotta wait till tomorrow. Hopefully the opportunities will still be there. And then we'll go all in and bring it up to 6,000. Just kidding. Could work out like that. But no. We're gonna ride it up with AMC. And you know what? That was foolish, giving only a week. We're doing too damn well to play that game. Should have been more patient. You live and you learn. Like I said, if we had been up, man, we would have been all-stars. Nobody would have won last week that kind of good win. All we had to do was go to 410. I mean, all we had to do is do what we did today. Just get to 400 at certain points. And had we won last week, we would have been too busy looking like all-stars to be worried about being too fast. Alright, so, yeah, it's just what it is. But getting back to business here, if we were growing the way we should be growing, fast and furious, on crypto and on AMC here, but also on Moderna from last week, and then you'd feel real good about that, huh? But we're already up for this week, which is good, and on an account that started at 2,400 for today, being up 280, is actually more than 10% gains for the day on that account. Hey, we're going to take this by the day, my brothers. There is no reason to rush into this thing and then trip all over ourselves. We are already in pretty aggressive bets. There's not that much we need to do to make it more aggressive. Cardano is an aggressive bet. It's in crypto, and I am on it. And this particular position is pretty aggressive. And, you know, we can talk about it because, you know, I don't think the idea is to, like, forget and dismiss and throw out of your mind any bad things that happened, like last week on our calls. But, you know, the reason you don't totally forget them is because you do want them to pose whatever value they can. And the value they can pose right now is in a lesson and learning. And so, and it's no values I haven't learned before, but maybe it is for some people. It's definitely, I think, you know, it's one of those things. I just know how it works. It could either be the thing that makes you an all-star and get you straight to your goals, or it can cost you and set you back. But you have to know when to not continue to double down, you know, to basically let time work it out for you, and really kind of look closely at what your time constraints are. In another year from now, are you generally going to be in the same place doing the same things? Well, maybe you've got more time than what you think. Maybe it's a better thing to relax and get the right positions to get in on, and to feel really good about being in those positions, that you don't have to stress. And I think that you get that feeling the most when you give yourself time. Time is what gives you that. And so I always like to give myself time. I love time. And Techno says GME started to go too. It's running before each earnings, which is on 9/8. You mean they have another earnings coming up? Seriously? On GME? I thought they just had an earnings. What do I know? I'm not in GME, so I guess I haven't been paying attention to it as much. But let's go ahead and take a look. GME. I'm not in the right one. Oh, that's why. You know, it is up for today. It's up $3.91. What are the options costing on this one? They're actually down right now. You know, if GME were to actually run, like, get a good go from, it could really, those options could end up paying off. That's what I mean. These aren't pump and dumps. Look how long and steady that the apes have been holding this. They are not pump and dumps. I will not hear that. A pump and dump is something that goes up immediately and turns around and comes down immediately. These are plays for fairness and ultimately a short squeeze for the future. And no matter how you add it up, it's benefited AMC. They've already profited on it. They've taken ape money to keep their stores going. No doubt about it, right? We know this for a fact. It bothered me, honestly, when we had our very first, MOAS going, and I was in that, and I had a bunch of calls opened up on that. And I was telling, we were going from like the 50 levels to like the 70 levels, and we were really getting ready to take off. And what does our man do? Our main top 8 man do? Oh, man. Aaron Adam, the CEO, that's his name, and he screwed us on that day, if you remember. He made a big selling on that day, and it screwed with our ability to go forward. Imagine if he didn't do that, and we got up to like 200 and 300. Because, that was a real stinger in what we were trying to do. And for me personally, forget about, because sometimes you do have to look at what it means to yourself. If that had gone right and he didn't do that, I would have been up like $100,000. That's what really bothers me. Because I know that at that time I would have stepped out of things and just focused on getting the bus built. But Adam Aaron took that away from me. And now he's worth $45 million in stocks that he's selling for himself. Good for him. Does he care to help a happy healer lover and my friends? No. Yeah, that's it, Techno. If we're in the game, it feels good to be in the game and to make the right moves, and that's what I'll be doing. Like, that's what I think. Definitely join my Discord, because I won't be staying on all day just to talk like I am now. I enjoy talking like I am now, and sometimes we can get into some really consequential subjects, so they will be there. And also when we're in the market really deep. But I don't want to always be on all day long when there's other things to do. If there's not, then I can stay on. So, in other words, it depends too on what I'm trying to achieve at that moment. There's a lot of other things that I want to help you guys with, that I want to talk about. So I don't want to just the market's open, so this is my hat for now, It's not how I'm going to do things, my fellow lovers. I definitely want to be of use in a variety of ways. Yeah, I think that, ultimately speaking, when it comes to these options on AMC, you got to sell at some point. They expire. They're derivatives. You can't hold them like the actual stock. you wouldn't want to, because you want to update them. So the only way to be able to why are we holding AMC? Is it to make $2 here and there? No. That's nice. Really what we're trying to do is to be in AMC on our call positions when the MOAS happens. The mother of all short squeezes, that's what that is. And we are just doing our best to stay in it for that reason. Because with 4 call options, if this MOAS goes and say it's up to $300, I mean, do you know that would be like 40, 50 grand. Easy. And makes the difference. And then you sell it or, for a profit. And so that's why we're in it. We're not in it for just this $2 here. So then what does that mean? That means our goal really is to make whatever we can make while we're in it. But ultimately, the biggest goal is to just stay in it without losing money until you get to that MOAS. Because that's what I did the last time. I made money on AMC, and then the options ended up taking back a lot of what they gave. And that's the same thing what happened on Moderna, isn't it? So it's about trying to get what you want good out of it without losing so much. And then when you do make it, to realize that's what it was you were looking for and to put that money away. And if you're getting back in it, to have fresh reasons that are refreshed, so to speak, that you know why you're in it. Does that make sense? Oh, I see you're saying, Techno. So you're going to play the earnings rush and make a play on that. You'll sell it before the actual earnings call, though? I can't believe that what they say, the FDA approved the mRNA vaccine for Pfizer, but not the one for Moderna yet. Why? I mean, I'm sure it's just a simple timing thing. There's no real reason behind it, but that's what people are going to be saying, I'll look into that better and I'll have some answers on tomorrow's show. What else should we discuss, guys, before I get off for this morning? And I'll come back and I'll probably check in later and this and that, but there's no sense in just staying on right at the moment. I don't want to overstay my welcome, and then you don't want to come see your happy healer lover anymore. Nah, we're going to do good. We're going to have so many good reasons for you to come back and check up. And I'm going to be sharing a lot of things business-wise. The only way to make money is not just in the markets. You can also do so many other things, and I'll share them with you. I'm a little reluctant to share because, you know what? Maybe this is going to make you so much profit, right? And so much help. So if I do share it, you really want to be paying attention. Knowledge is power. A lot of people don't give that away for free, And so, especially if they're doing well with it, right? Right, so Techno says that he bought crypto at peak. It was a good investment last month, but the problem is Congress can make it illegal. And that was a concern of mine, but at this point, if Congress did that, they would be hurting there's a lot about that would, hurt America too. So these what probably more likely to happen is that it would become integrated in, and that there would be rules implemented, And that's probably the best idea, because you wouldn't want there to not be, the same kinds of protections that you would expect from a bank account, for example. In some ways, maybe not like but you would have some protection. But then again, I don't know what. Here's the thing. I don't know what exactly they could do to make it go away, because there's basically it's decentralized and it'll continue even if they don't like it. But you definitely want the government's blessing, because they can make it have a hard time to go forward. That's where crypto really gets to succeed, is when the government embraces it in some way. The government can do well with it too in some way. Maybe the government makes one of their own cryptos as well and just goes alongside it, or maybe provides some stability to the market. Or they really have to think about that long and hard and get some mathematicians to really look at the various ways that could be worked together, and that people can make good outcomes for people. I think that at the end of the day, we have to protect the Federal Reserve, and that more crypto people should be talking about the good aspects of the Federal Reserve, so that the Federal Reserve and the government doesn't have much to fear from crypto either. I mean, the way they're looking at the Federal Reserve is their piggy bank to do their corruption, but us more responsible parties know we need it for, last resort investor, and the Federal Reserve has played that role so many times. And also, so it's a buyer of last resort, and that it's the thing that can get us out of major catastrophes. As so long as it's strong and has its ability, it can dig deep and make investments in America. So to get rid of it is really the first step, I think, in ensuring that America has its its hands tied. And then you'll see that's probably the point. Like in years and years in the future from then, you'll probably look back and say that's the point when America started losing it. Standing in a very lost America by then. There's no reason why any of that should occur. But folks, I mean, we're in the year 2021, and to me, we should be buzzing around here and doing a lot better with our technology and prosperity. And instead, we're sitting over here like incapable morons. It's just ridiculous how well we could be doing compared to how we actually are. And that's as a people, and it reflects on all of us. So that bothers me, man. I want to see us be doing so much better. I want to see people own the stock market. So that's only going to come if people get an income for all, and that they're paid through the stock market, and then they'll become the owners of industry, and they'll start rooting for that. There'll be a nice unity and a connection between our population and the industry and businesses that serve it. That'll be such a change from what we've had in the past. So an income for all that's paid through the stock market. People become more empowered by having their stocks appreciate, those who own stocks, and that inflation is offset by production. We increase our productive capabilities by increasing our technological capabilities and entering a new robotic age. As you see, a lot of people, they don't want to go back to dead-end jobs anyways. I mean, the year is 2021. People better start recognizing that truth. I am telling you, we can't rely on having slave human labor force and say, oh, well, you should be out there doing that, when really we have the ability to do robotics and AI and step up in ways that we're not allowing ourselves to. So that's our goal. That's what I believe our goal is. All right, folks, I think what I'm going to do is give it a break for now, and then come back on probably midday-ish. Maybe I'll come on for a little bit around 1 o'clock. I could come on at any point, but definitely before we close, we'll do that closing time together as well. And if you want to get my attention during the market day, which I will be looking, and look at the Dow Jones 35. It's lower than Bitcoin. Of course, two different prices. Okay, so but yeah, you can get to my Discord. I think I have it right here too, see? And you can go to my Discord and you can become part of my Discord. And alright, I'll log in when... Oh wait, hold on. It should already have all that in here. I guess not. Alright then. So what I'll do is, like I said, I'll pop back in before market close once or twice. At least once, but maybe twice, maybe midday. And then if you want to get my attention, just come to Discord if there's something that's going on. And we might go live then, or we could share information for the next time I do go live. Jason and Techno, I want you guys to be there with me through this. So I think the three of us can build a nice community too, maybe, not maybe, definitely, but that we're here together doing it. So keep your eyes open on some good deals, like that Regeneron was a great one, right? Now, we just share these with people and the reasons why. And there's some other ones that I'm looking at too that I haven't even gotten around to sharing yet. All right, folks, I'll see you here in a little bit. God bless you. Much love.